Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Masters Muscle Podcast, the only place you should be every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. But before we get into the show, want to give a quick plug to our affiliate, Body Bags Clothing, apparel for the hardcore athlete. Visit bodybagsclothing.com, use code MASTERSMUSCLE, capital M's, and save 20% off your order. Again, bodybagsclothing.com. And Vinny, any updates that you want to share with the fans? I know we're fully engaged here for the Masters Olympia.
Um, this Saturday I'm 14 weeks out. I'm still in my transition phase. From off season is over, and I'm funneling it into 12 weeks out. Another 2 more weeks, and gonna do the best I can. And I'm still in shock that I was invited. So it's good. It's gonna be cool.
I can't believe you're in shock, Vinny. Come on.
Yeah, I'm in shock. Yeah.
Vin, who do we have on tonight? Introduce the man of the hour.
So, Dwayne McDaniel. God, how we go back a long ways. I think one of the first times I ever met you was got to be in the early '90s somewhere.
Yeah.
Either at the Suburban or the Jersey or possibly the East Coast or Diamond. Dwayne has been a competitor. He's now an expediter, a judge. He is also the promoter.
Correction. Actually, I'm not an expediter. I've been a head of security with Joe Palumbo at the shows.
All right. Head of security, judge, and promoter of the prestigious New Jersey State Championships, where I won my class in 1992, and that's where basically my career kicked off. So welcome, Dwayne. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
This is number 19 today, 19th episode. So we're on to a good start. We're rolling here. So, a lot of our listeners love a lot of the old school stories that they hear from the guys that are coming on and the women. So let's start with really go back to the beginning. How did you get involved in lifting weights, and how did it develop into competing and all of that?
Well, I used to at home. I used to lift like my mom's furniture. I tell this story all the time. So yeah, I used to rip and run the streets a little bit, and I used to enjoy working out. And I'd never been to a gym before, so I would lift my mother's furniture, the end of the sofa, the bed, the chairs up in the air. And I guess she got tired of coming home and seeing the house rearranged. So, people don't realize it, but Sears used to sell weights. I know you guys remember that.
Yeah.
These cement weights
with the plastic coating on them.
Yeah. So one day she bought me the cement weight set, and it came in this big box that my brothers actually had to carry up the stairs for me. And I started lifting there at home with the weights, and then somebody introduced me to Diamond Gym, because they knew I liked working out. So I went in the Diamond Gym, and that was it. And I remember going there in '82, and that's when it was one floor, and it had the three sides. But we had Nick Navatola, Johnny Moran, Derek Whitsett, all these guys, and they were just monsters. And I've never seen anything like it before. And Diamond Gym was one of the few gyms in New Jersey. There was a few more, New Jersey and New York. But, John owned it at the time. And John was like larger than life,
Well,
so when I walked in there, it was like heaven. Was that?
Explain to everybody who John was.
Oh, John was a vice president of the NPC. He was also the chairman of New Jersey. All right. And he used to judge the Mr. Olympia as well. So he had a ton of pros coming out of the gym. And I was just in awe of everybody. I mean, when I walked in the gym, I was like 145 pounds, and now I'm 150 pounds. So no, I'm kidding. But yeah, it was a lot of people to look up to, and I stayed there because everybody was so willing to help,
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to ever visit another gym, it wasn't like that. They would, if I was about to kill myself, they would just watch me from a distance, But Diamond, they were always willing to help and teach you and things like that. So I used to travel back and forth to Diamond Gym. I lived in the Bronx at one time, and I used to travel to Diamond Gym every day just to get that vibe that I couldn't get anyplace else. So that was it. It was just home to me.
And how did you start getting into competing?
Actually, Jason Arndt got me into competing. I was training one night, and Jason saw me. I'll never forget. It was in the middle of the gym, and I saw him. This short dude. We were probably like the same height. We were like 5'6". I think Jason was 5'5", but he'll tell you 5'6". But he came up and said, "You should compete." I'm like, "No, I just like working out," and I really did enjoy working out. It was like real gritty at Diamond Gym. You know what I mean? And I love the atmosphere. There was no talking. If it was talking, it was about working out. So we started talking, and next thing you know, man, I think it maybe that year or the following year, I was on the stage doing a Suburban, and I actually won my class.
What year was that?
I think that was 94.
Oh, that late. I thought you competed earlier.
Before that, no. The only thing I've ever done prior to that was the Diamond Gym show that John used to have at Belmar at DJ's, which was a blast.
Yeah,
that's what he would have people compete on the beach, and we'll have this curling competition, and Johnny Morant would always win that. He had straight curl 225 with no problem, laughing and telling like your mama jokes and stuff like that. It was hilarious. We used to have a ball.
I always tell people, like, I try to get people to go to Diamond to get the experience, and I say it doesn't matter how long I haven't been in Diamond. Every time I walk in, I'm getting hugs and high fives and fist bumps. The culture at Diamond has not left.
No, it hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed. And when I was there a few weeks ago, it was the same way. People were coming up to me and like all excited about the Olympia, and I didn't even know some of these guys, and they knew me. And a very welcoming place. Open arms.
The thing about Diamond is that if you're, look, John was a bodybuilder. He was a pro, and he built the gym to train. So it used to be in Irvington, I believe, from 76 to 81. And it was a storefront. Him and a couple of guys, they got together and they wanted to do a gym, and he needed a place to train. So that's why he got it started. Okay. So he wanted to train. He competed out of the gym as well. So it was a gym built by bodybuilder for bodybuilding.
Very cool.
And that was the love of it. Even if you didn't compete, everybody understood the culture, and everybody like appreciated it. So if you were getting ready for a show and somebody who didn't compete was on a bench, they would let you have it. Go ahead. And it is that culture, and to this day it still is, and it will be.
Dwayne, when you competed, when you competed, were you middleweight, heavyweight, light heavyweight? What did you compete at?
Most of my career, I competed as a middleweight, and my last show, it was, I think you were in that show. Was that 98 at the Nationals?
The Nationals, yeah.
Yeah, 98 Nationals. I competed for the first time as a light heavy.
Okay. That was my first time.
I placed 10. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Because I remember me, Craig, and Robbie Lopez were in the locker room of the hotel gym.
Right.
And Maz was taking a look at us. And then you walked in, and I was like, oh my God, he looks amazing. And then I was shocked. I'm like, he's not I remember thinking, Dwayne didn't make the top 5? Because I saw you the day before looking peeled.
Right.
And that's how hard that class was that year.
I think it was like 40 people in the class, in one class.
It was like around 38 to 42 people, something like that.
Yeah, Kevin English was in there. I was looking at a video a while ago. I think I have that like on VHS or something. But Kevin English was in that too. I didn't realize that, but it was a lot of guys that
he was in the light heavies.
I'm not sure. I think so. I think he was light heavy. Yeah. Oh, but that's when he had it. It was in Atlanta.
Yeah. Huh? That would be the only time I ever beat Kevin English then.
Yeah.
I ended up 4th that year.
Yeah, that was a good show. I left the gym at 2:05. By the time I got to the show, my metabolism was going so fast. It was like 193 and I couldn't keep up with it. Remember Stokely?
Stokely Palmer, yeah.
Right. So Stokely made me eat cheeseburgers and French fries to slow my metabolism down. And it actually sped it up. And I couldn't get back to 205 until like I got home on Monday.
Wow.
So yeah, it was crazy. But I had a good time.
You know, I always tell people, like I'm intense at the gym, and I try to instill that in a lot of the competitors, and I try to tell them like how it used to be in our era. Like if you bragged that you were qualified for the nationals, and you walked into Diamond Gym and acted like the way you act today, you'd either be laughed at or kicked out of the gym.
Absolutely.
Like there was like this kind of like a stepping stone, unwritten rule. If you can't win the Suburban, don't even think about going to the Jersey. If you can't win at the Jersey or take top 2, don't think about doing the Junior USA, let alone doing the Nationals, and then the USA, and then the Nationals. And
that's right.
People would say, but isn't that a long journey to get to the Nationals? I'm like, well, think about it. A lot of people go to the Nationals, they don't even belong there, and they're getting an experience of wasting their money and not having the experience on stage. So by the time guys like us got to the Nationals, we had already been in at least 1 to 2 national shows, either won it or been in the top 5. And that's the way it used to be. Now it's like guys just disappear in the shuffle.
Yeah, yeah. Or right now they'll, and there's some really good bodybuilders out there, state level bodybuilders, but you have a lot of them. They'll do like they'll play second, and they'll qualify for a show, and then they'll go right to the nationals, and they're not really ready. They don't want to do those steps, but I think it's very important to do, a stage show or 2, and then a junior show, which, I mean, you'll turn pro now, but in a national show, but you need that experience. I think it really helps as opposed to getting lost, like you said.
I think one of the last guys to ever do anything like that was Hunter Labrada. I think he was advanced, and he still went to the Junior USA, wins the overall, then goes to the Nationals or USA. I don't remember, but he got the Junior USA under his belt before he went to the Nationals. Right. And a lot of people think that's wasting time, but it's not.
No, not at all. You're competing. How could you be wasting time? And that's what you're training to do. You know what I mean? So it's really not a waste of time.
And Dwayne, you did the 96 Team Universe. I'm just doing some research here. You're up against a stacked class.
Yeah. I think I placed 10th or 9th or maybe 6th. I don't know, something like that. I wasn't ready. I remember that year.
You came in 8th. You came in 8th, and Johnny Stewart won that. And you had Tito Raymond. You had a lot of people in the whole card was stacked.
It was crazy. Those times, and correct me if I'm wrong, Benny, it was all like bodybuilding, right?
Yeah. We didn't have classic or men's physique or
it was men's.
I think it was bodybuilding and women's fitness.
Like bodybuilding would have like 300 people, all bodybuilders, So like the Jersey was like a national show when we used to have it in Bergen Tech.
Yep. That was
we used to sell that place out. Couldn't find a parking spot anywhere. It was huge. Like packed.
Standing room.
Yeah, standing room only. Yeah.
I remember one year John had Benny Pota guest pose. And Benny Pota came out and screaming, like, you ever see, I don't want to repeat what he said because he was cursing. He's like, you ever see anyone blow up on stage? And then I don't know where it came from. And he's like spit all this red, supposed to be blood. And then he was like going nuts and posing. And it was a show. It was a bodybuilding show and entertainment. And John would like have everybody had those girls hand out the trophies. They were all dressed really nice. And it was a different time. It was a different time.
Yeah. Even if the physiques were different, and the guys were pretty big, but the physiques were still different than they are now.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think people rush it today. And back in the 90s, it was almost like 8 to 10 years before you got on the stage of training.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's like you're training 2 years. And people don't understand the road that they have to go on to really build a good physique.
Yeah. Now, that's true. There are some guys out there that like they're just gifted.
Yeah,
They're gifted, and they can get up there and you know, they do their thing. But yeah, most times, you know, when you have, I know I've met many guys who are very gifted physically, but they don't have that work ethic.
oh, sure.
You have
Yeah.
to drag them along, you know, and everybody's telling them you could do it, you could turn blah 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 blah, but they don't get it. And then you have a guy that isn't so genetically gifted, or girl for that matter, and they have that drive, and they go right to the top.
You've seen
You
it a
know,
lot of Diamond too, right?
oh yeah, ton. You know, Diamond, you got guys that should be competing every day. These guys are just strong, big, genetically gifted, just because. You know, like when we used to do the bros versus pros,
Mm.
or the muscle camps or the monster camps that we used to give, you see those guys, everybody's like just monsters.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think like you said, it's the atmosphere that um, brings them to the place, and because they know that everybody, they
yeah.
get it, and they're not, no one is what's the word I'm looking for? No one is taken back by the fact that, you know, they're doing PRs and trying to break the PRs every day. No one's bothered by the chalk or the chain or even the grunting and all that stuff. It's part of it.
It
It's
has to
part of
be.
the culture.
I remember one of my first memories of Diamond. Um, I knew of Lu Chow.
Lucho,
I
yeah.
never, yeah, I never really talked to him. I was only like 17, 18. I was completely intimidated by him. You know, he had this physique that was just, he was a monster.
Thick.
And he said to me, I remember like it was yesterday, it was a Friday night in the summer. And that outside, John still had that wall that used to have plants.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Lu Chow says to me, "What are you training?" I said, "I'm gonna do legs." He goes, "Join me." And it was with some other guy. I don't know who he was. And we would go into the back, and he would. I remember. I remember both squat racks were taken. He had on, I don't know, 315, and I had like 185 or 225.
Mm.
And he said, "All right, we're all gonna do a round. We're gonna go outside." I'm like, "All right, why are we going outside?" Now we're gonna have a little beer and drink and eat
That's
some
it.
pizza. And I was like, pizza
He was
and
the
beer.
first. That's right. He was the first person to introduce me that. I think it's probably Heineken and pizza, right?
It was Heineken and pizza.
Yeah,
Jeez.
And
that's it.
that was like the only time I ever did that. But it was like my best workout. Like I think we squatted like, I don't know. It seemed like a long time to me.
Incredible pump, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pizza and beer, great pump.
Is incredible, yeah.
I
But
was
he,
like, how do I drive home? I'm drunk.
and that's why you had the best workout. You were so drunk you didn't realize what you were doing.
It was just I don't remember like detail, but I don't know if he said, okay, you're gonna get 10 reps. I'm gonna get 10 reps. He's gonna get 10 reps, and we're going outside. And they stayed outside for about 10 minutes, came back inside, did another set, and we just did that for either an hour or 2 hours, and it was just squats. That was it.
Right, right. Oh yeah, that was the thing. You couldn't walk around Diamond without legs, and if you didn't have legs, you would know it. And that was actually one of my things when I came into the gym, and they put me through the ringer to get my legs up. But I mean, you know, throwing up and this everything. Everybody would know what you had, you know, a few hours before in the leg room. It was crazy. It was crazy.
So
And every now and again, we still get that.
sure,
I know. I know we've discussed a lot of different gym stories, and if it's not the right gym, I apologize. Is Diamond the one where someone would take the garbage can and bring it over to
Oh
all
yeah,
the athletes?
still do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Just bring it right into the leg room, put it next to the squat rack or the leg press, which is still there. We have 3 leg press, two hammer strength. No, yeah, 2 hammer strength, 1 life fitness. And John took one of the leg press machines and welded extensions on it. So I think it would normally fit 13, and it went from 13 to like 15 or 16 plates. And then they would load them up, and then they would put somebody on top of it, you know, and these are like York plates, like iron. There were no, you know, the rubber plates and all that stuff. And these guys would go at it deep. John wouldn't accept anything, no half reps. As a matter of fact, if you tried to stop before you got to 15, they would put their foot on the locking mechanism, so you couldn't lock in. So you had to finish it. Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
Oh yeah, it was crazy. They didn't care. They didn't care.
Dwayne, moving forward a little bit, how did you go from being a member of the gym to being the promoter of the New Jersey to owning Diamond Gym? How did that all happen?
Okay, so let me see if I get the timeline right. So I stopped competing after the nationals because I was had a series of hamstring pulls, and one of the hamstring pulls was when I was training with Stokely. We were doing stiff leg deadlifts with 315. That's when I was about 235 pounds. And I pulled my hamstring, and it just kept pulling after that. I think I pulled both of my hamstrings at least 3 or 4 times. So I decided to give it up. So I started training people. And I built quite a big clientele. So I used to train people from like 5 a.m. to 12 in the afternoon, take a 2-hour break, and then run clients from like 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night. So John saw that. And at the time, I think John he had a partner, Mike McMurrows. I think he was selling the gym to Mike. And they asked me to, hey, you want to do a class, like bring people in? And I said, better yet, how about if I rent space? I rent a space upstairs, right? So I built a room, and I rented space from John, and I was doing one-on-one training there for a few years. And some reason it didn't work out between John and Mike, and I offered to buy the gym. And it took some years, but he eventually agreed to it, and then it went from there. And that happened in 2007, right? And yeah, so I think John passed away about 13 years ago.
Okay.
So I was I couldn't believe it. Again, it's like the house I grew up in. You know what I mean? It was a place that I felt. I'll never forget when I first walked in the gym. I said to myself, I wanted to own a gym like this, like it was a gym. You know what I mean? And again, everything just blew my mind. I never seen anything like it, with the guys doing what they were doing, and to purchase the place that I grew up in I was
surreal,
dumbfounded the fact that he was like, okay, so let's do this, you know.
And with the purchase of the gym, did you automatically become the promoter of the jersey?
No. That's actually I purchased the business in 2007, and 2 years later, I started promoting the jersey. He allowed me to promote the jersey 2 years later. Yeah.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I have you on, I think, 2 of the posters. I think it was you, Cedric McMillan.
Wow.
I think Bob Ciccarello was emceeing. It was at Keene University. There's quite a few people. Yeah.
It was wild.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, 2009 to 2010 maybe was the first time I
just
promoted.
had turned pro.
Yeah. So you know, that's in short, that's how it happened. It's quite a journey, quite a journey. You know,
is the show still current?
Was that?
Is the competition still current? Is the show still current? Yeah.
Matter of fact, this right here is
product placement.
Right. Shameless plug. This is the show, August 19th, and was it Island, New Jersey?
Island.
Yeah, Island. Yeah. Cool. So it's normally a pretty good show. Pretty good show.
Yeah, you got bragging rights. You win the class or even
overall. I think it's one of the longest running shows in New Jersey, if not the longest running show in New Jersey.
Yeah, back in the day, John used to have it in April, right prior to the Junior USA.
Mm-hmm.
And then somewhere along the line, he moved it a little later in the summer.
Right? Yeah. Well, I moved it in the summer because I remember doing the Diamond Gym show in the summer at Belmar at DJ's. Yeah, I think it's DJ's. Yeah. And it was always a good vibe, you know. And then when I first put it in August, everybody thought I was crazy because there was no other shows in August. But I've always saw how big of a crowd it was down the shore to do it. So that's where it's been. Yeah.
Dwayne, do you feel so? I have a friend that owns another hardcore gym in New Jersey, and we talk about this a lot. That he feels that the hardcore gyms they seem to be dying. That they're all being overtaken by the Planet Fitnesses, the
Mhm.
$20 membership stuff. Do you feel that way? Do you think like it's a dying not breed? But they're dying a little bit.
Well, I think a lot of personally owned gyms or small like business owners that had gyms, I think a lot of them went out of business. One, COVID,
Mhm.
and two, yeah, prior to COVID, it was all the corporate gyms coming up. So
Yep.
people um, tried to convert to that to match that, right? Um, eh, I don't necessarily feel the pressure of corporate gyms. You
Yeah.
know, I think with a hardcore gym, first, I think hardcore is for everybody. If you're serious about getting in shape, I think you
Sure.
belong in a hardcore gym. Um, I think it's like a situation where if you're an educated consumer and you want to do this, like you know where to go,
Yep.
or you'll find out where to go.
Yeah.
What's funny is that you'll find more people willing to help you in a hardcore gym than you would in a commercial gym.
Yeah,
I think it's more family.
100%. I
absolutely.
mean, go ahead.
I get a lot of people that come from corporate gyms, and one, they feel like, oh, the weights are heavier here. You know, I don't know what that's about, but I get it all the time. Two, um, they sometimes they get offended because they want to come and set up tripods and be on their phones and having conversations. That's not allowed at the gym ever. You'll get that sometimes, and I've actually had people walk out of the gym because I don't allow phone conversations on the floor, or I don't allow yeah, it's dangerous for one. If you're
Yep.
not paying attention and somebody drops a plate or a dumbbell, you're going to get injured, right? It's distracting too. You having a conversation, whether you're on your earbuds or you have the phone to your face. If you're having this loud conversation and you're trying to focus, somebody else is trying to focus, it's going to break your focus. And
Yeah.
people say, oh, well, you lose business if you don't let people use the tripods. I'm not opposed to people taking pictures, or even short videos, but the whole studio setup, it's not happening. No tripods. I can't. I'll see John in my head going, Dwayne, what are you doing? What are you doing? So, John, this guy wouldn't even let you drink water while you're training.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Jeez.
I think that's why, like you said, when you walk in there, even if you haven't been there for a few years, it's the same.
Yep.
Even a lot of equipment, which some of the equipment was actually built in the gym, right, by John and a few of his friends. I think back in that time, you got a lot of first generation hammer strength equipment, and it was built to feel the weight,
Hmm.
right? So it wasn't
Yep.
built to allow you to move heavier weight easily. It was built for you to move the weight properly and to feel the weight, right?
Yep.
So small pulleys, small cables, those things it makes 200 pounds feel like 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So people enjoy that.
That chest press you have right when you walk in the door to the left, just before.
Polaris.
Yeah. No, the hammer strength. I think the one
Oh,
right
the hammer.
before
Yeah. Okay, that's further
you
down.
go
Yeah.
into the next room.
Yeah.
I've never been a strong guy, but that humbled me when I did it, and I'm like, why am I having a hard time pressing one plate? It was so heavy to me, and I have 14 screws throughout my shoulders, so things are a
Right.
little more difficult for me. But I mean, it just felt heavier. So when you said, yeah, people say the weights feel heavier here. Like that day, I picked up the 40s, laid back to do some dumbbell bench pressing, just to do one set as a warm up. I'm like, I think that's my set right there. The 40s felt like 70s. I was like, what the hell's
You
going on?
you get that a lot. I got people that come from, and I'm not disrespecting any corporate gyms or anything like that, but you get people coming from the corporate gyms, LA Fitness, and so on. And we're talking at the front desk, and oh yeah, I do deadlift 500 pounds, or for a couple of reps. I'm like, yeah, that probably won't happen here, but you can give it a shot. And they're, I can only do 275 at 315. Yeah, because I'm not saying they have fake plates, but again, like I can't change the weight of a 45-pound plate. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, when it's rubber opposed to metal, there is a difference. People laugh at me, but when you have a cast iron 45-pound plate opposed to a rubber coated 45-pound plate,
right,
it's different. It's just complete, and dumbbells too. Completely
it's different. Yeah. Even with that, there are some good competitors coming out of those places. I think when they come to a hardcore gym, it brings out more of their physique. I think there is a difference between training with a band versus training with free weights. Just like there is free weight versus a machine.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there is a big difference.
And Dwayne, I've never been in your gym, but I'm sure some people say you walk into your gym and there's that smell, whether it's the chalk, the sweat, like the hard stuff, versus the piped in aromatherapies at the Planet Fitnesses and stuff.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's that gym smell. I guess it's the smell of experience. I don't know, and it's just what it is. It's been there for a long time.
It's not a bad smell, though. I mean,
no, it's not.
No, I don't mean it negatively. It's not negative.
No, but people will have it say oh, that smell or whatever. Like, suck it up. That's where people sweat.
Right, and I have a cleaning company coming at least 3 times a week, and it's just the gym. The gym has been in that one location forever. Again, since 1982.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, since 1982 has been there. Remember, it was one floor. That's when, like you said, Lucho and Johnny and Nick and Guy DeCasey, Derek Whitsett, they were all there. It was one floor and one bathroom, by the way.
Oh wow.
So
correct me if I'm wrong. Where the second, okay, so you have the 3 rooms: the front main room when you walk in, and then you go to the right, to the back.
That's a smaller room. That's the smaller room to the right, and that long narrow room. Yeah.
Was that a restroom at one point back in the back?
No, the restroom. If you in the main room and walk straight back to the back door.
Yeah.
Right before you get to the back door, on the right-hand side, that's where that bathroom still is. It's still a single bathroom. Yeah, but that's where it was, right there, all the way in the back. But you can get to it from the right as well.
Okay. Somebody had told me that at one time that was closed off because it was a bathroom. And I was like,
in the back, all the way in the back.
Oh, it was a bigger bathroom?
Yeah, bigger bathroom. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And that when you walk in, you go to the left. That was a different store. That was a whole different store altogether. And then they moved out, and then then John bought the building, and then I think in 94, he built the upstairs. Somewhere between 93 and 94, I think he built the upstairs.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember the first time going in there was no cardio equipment. No cardio. So, but the bike that's right next to the front desk, has that been there for like 30 years?
Yes. And it still works.
Is it a knob turn? Do you turn the knob to tighten the tension?
No. It's I think it's first generation Life Fitness bike. And like the gym opened up it's technically opens up at 5. John will get there at 6, but there were many times where, people would be there at 3:00 in the morning because John gave somebody the key, and everybody would be there training, and the windows would be fogged up from sweat and just people training. And when John got in there at 6:00, if somebody was on that bike, you got to get up. That's John's bike. Even after I purchased when I bought the business, he would say, somebody would be on the bike, he'll go, Dwayne. I said, look, you got to get off that bike, man. Get off the bike. That was his bike, because he would always warm up on that bike. It was the front desk, so.
That's cool.
But he would train, I think, every day except for Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, he wasn't there, but he would train every day.
So do you still have legacy equipment from day one, or has a lot of been kind of modernized over the times?
I still have the legacy equipment. Everything that was there is still there and it's still working. I did change a few things. I have some legend equipment in there. But for the most part, everything is still the same. It still works. If it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
I always say, some people, okay, so as many pros, I think we have about 40 pros that came out of that one location, right? And I always tell people, new equipment doesn't mean new body, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. The new equipment does not equal new body, but your mindset. And if you're in a place that understands your mindset and where you want to go with it, that's going to make it easier, right? To get there, because everybody gets it. Now, if you're in a place where a couple of people get it, but most people are there because it's now a social place to go. It's like back in the 90s, people would go to the mall to go to Starbucks to go hang out. Now they go to the gym to hang out.
Yeah.
And I can even feel that in Diamond Gym. There's a lot of people that, they're not really gym people. When back in the 80s and early 90s, you were in the gym because you were, gym people, right? And people wouldn't bother. They weren't going to the gyms. They were doing something else, running, whatever, but they weren't gym people. Now it's like a place to go, which is fine. It's good for business.
Yeah.
But with the rep that John created and Diamond and the rep that it has, I would want everybody to get something out of being a member of the gym.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And if you walk in a Diamond Gym, they'll tell you. If I see somebody, on their phone or texting, get off the phone. I embarrass people all the time. I get on the microphone. You want us to turn down the music because we don't want to bother your conversation. It's just, oh yeah. So I got to keep that vibe. Is what me and a lot of guys there grew up on. And Greg, Greg, he's at night, got the hoodie on all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been there for 25 years or more.
He's a nice guy.
Culture. Yeah, it's that we got people there been there for ages.
So, Dwayne, I have someone asking a question who is a big fan of the show. Ask Dwayne, what past or present bodybuilder would he have loved to had work out at Diamond Gym?
Present bodybuilder?
Past or present that you would have loved to say, hey, look, this person came to my gym or worked out in the gym.
Ooh. all of them. I mean,
you got Vinny.
I would. Okay, so Dorian Yates has been there. Ronnie Coleman has been there. Sean Roden has been there. Sean Ray, Kevin LeBron. So what? Present bodybuilder. Akeem Williams is there all the time.
Nick Walker's a former Jersey guy. I don't know if he worked out in your gym.
What's that?
Nick Walker was a former Jersey guy. I don't know if
he worked
out in your gym.
Nick Walker has been there. I remember Nick when he came to Diamond and he got on a hack squat. I'm like, who is this guy with these quads? Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's see.
Sounds like you've had a who's who.
Bodybuilder.
You've had a good who's who so far, it sounds like.
What's that?
It sounds like you've had a good who's who walk through the gym so far.
Oh yeah.
If guys saw Johnny Morant today, if they saw Johnny Morant and Derek Whitsett and the sheer size they were, I mean, Johnny Morant was like, and even Chuck Noadilli.
Yeah, Chuck, big Chuck. Oh yeah.
And Tony Alicia. These guys
all
were freaks. Like they were quality physiques. That
Johnny was 300 pounds when 300 pounds wasn't popular. I remember, Johnny was he was a monster. He used to do behind the neck press with 315 and just telling jokes all day. And he would, get in really good shape and just playing around.
Yeah.
He's a beast. He's a
He's a
beast.
Jersey guy? I didn't know he was from Jersey.
Jersey guy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Jersey
Okay.
guy. But modern, all of them.
Yeah.
All of them. You know, it's a bodybuilder's place.
Oh my. Dwayne, are you still judging now?
Yes. Yes. I'm a national judge now. Thankfully. Yeah. I became a national judge, and I do quite a bit of head judging for Steve Weinberger,
Okay.
through the Northeast. Yeah.
So, Vinny, ironically enough, Juan is watching this, and I know Juan's got a show coming up, so he has a show question.
Yep.
So ask Dwayne as a judge when he's looking at the competitors on stage and having them hold a pose, when a competitor has to reset, is that scored against him or impact the competitor in a negative way?
Someone just asked me that a few weeks ago.
Oh, interesting.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Not for me.
Okay.
I don't think it impacts them negative. If they continuously reset and they're constantly moving around, we would like for you to hit the shot and hold it.
Okay.
If you're looking uncomfortable in a shot, then it doesn't look good for the athlete versus
Okay.
someone who they wait for somebody to they wait for the whole lineup to hit the shot, and then they hit the shot last, thinking that's going to get the judge's attention. Sometimes by the time that happens, we're calling the next pose, so you missed out.
Yep.
So in my experience, as a competitor, it's best to, when the judge calls the shot, hit the shot, hit it right, hold it, and that's where. And Benny, you know this because you're a great poser. That's where practicing posing is part of your training,
Mhm.
which a lot of people don't do. They put more into training, which you should put a lot in the training, of course, but also into the presentation. I mean, why do all the dieting and the training and then don't present the package like you should, right?
Yeah,
Or like
absolutely.
you don't know how to present the package. Sometimes posing can make or break you. I was always taught that posing is the art of showing off your strengths and hiding your weaknesses.
Mhm.
Yep.
People don't know how hard it is to pose until they start practicing posing. I've had people just about pass out just on posing because they don't know how to hold it. They don't know how to control their midsection. They see it on YouTube and they see the shows and the pros and the national level. They make it look so easy. So these guys and girls for that matter, they go on stage thinking it's easy and they don't practice, and then they mess up, or it makes them look bad. I've seen guys who lost because they overposed, squeezing so hard with it shaking and distort their body, and
Yep.
not hitting it. You got to make it look like it's second nature.
Effortless.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah. And you keep hearing now also that a lot of people lose on the quarter turns for that 1 minute they turning, or the second that they're turning, they let the belly go for a minute. And people say that's where they're getting dinged also. For that split second, you let the belly hang out or something.
Right. Well, it's good to, not to have the belly to begin with, but if you have a distended stomach, you better know it, and you better know how to control it at all times.
Yep.
And all quarter tones, even if your back is facing the judges, when people doesn't think it's important.
Yep.
At a national show, you got 7 judges, or national qualifier, you got 7 judges. So you're getting kind of seen at all angles. I was always told, even if you're on the side, hold your pose.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Hold your pose. You don't just let everything go. As a bodybuilder, you're an athlete, right? So if you're on stage and you look tired, that's not a good look, one. And you're gonna kind of slump your body and look tired. You're not gonna look sharp,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So that's where the posing comes into play, practicing the posing. And I've had guys practice posing for 45 minutes.
Of course.
Bring a meal because you're gonna go flat. You're gonna need to eat, and you're gonna have to pose again.
Yeah.
So posing is absolutely part of training for a show, 100%.
I always tell people, you see a lot of guys pull in their stomach from the upper abs. When I try to explain, your belly button down to your crotch is where you want to pull it in, not your upper abs. If you pull in your lower abdominal wall, then it's going to create an illusion that your waistline is a lot smaller. You can control your obliques. And when I'm training clients, Dwayne, I'm standing around as they're doing sets. I'm pulling my stomach in and I'm holding it. And then I relax as their set's over. I'm doing that for the last month right now. Like that's my
holding it.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds funny, but you have to have conditioning of your muscle control. And also conditioning from the diet. So there's two different conditionings. And if you're not conditioned with posing, as you say, your weaknesses, your flaws will be presented.
Will show. You have to know your weaknesses. You have to know your weaknesses. And with abs, I think a lot of people, especially the younger generation, I think they're catching up to it now. I think the first person I saw online teaching people about how to strengthen their transverse abdominal wall was Juan Morel. We're doing the vacuums and holding it, and that's something that I was taught, but most people were just doing crunches, and not practicing the vacuum like you said. So they would have that weakness.
It's funny now. I have a lot of weaknesses because of the injuries that I had over the years. So there's poses that I can't do anymore that I used to do. My favorite poses. I'm like, if I had, say, 15 poses, I'm down to like 9, and that's in my posing routine. So luckily the mandatories for me are still decent, but I'd have to throw a tweak in here and there because I know what my weaknesses are now. I have more weaknesses to hide than I did back in the day.
But if you didn't say it tonight, who would know that but you, because you pose so well, because you know how to hide your weaknesses, and that's it. Again, you know how to, you know the art of posing. Show off your strengths, hide your weaknesses. A lot of people would say, I want to do that Arnold Schwarzenegger side chest. I want to do that Sergio, and they don't have the body to do it. You may like it, but it doesn't like you, so why do it?
Oh, I tell a lot of people all the time, like they do that, the Zane, hands over the head, and all they're doing is looking like they're blocking out the sun.
Right.
I'm like, you're doing the pose wrong. Why are you doing poses? Well, I like that pose. I appreciate you. There's poses I like, but I don't do them because I don't look good in them. Don't do a pose you don't look good in.
Right. It's a bad idea. Bad idea. You may really enjoy it, but it doesn't enjoy you. So I wouldn't do it. Yeah.
So Dwayne, if I can ask you a question, the days of good posing routines seem to be almost like a thing of the past. The Vinnies, the Lila Bradas, the Tony Pearsons. Okay.
Yeah.
If someone comes out to show you're judging and really puts on a good posing routine, it doesn't just come out to rock music, doing the things. Do you award them more, or is it just kind of the same regardless if someone comes out and hits mandatories during their music versus a posing routine? If I'm explaining that right.
Well, posing is a part of presenting the package, judging. And I think they are starting to do it more and more. I'm starting to understand that. But we do want to see you present the package properly. A lot of guys are coming out and, asking for applause because they're just on stage, and, that's a little tired, So I would say, yeah, you want to get the poses together and you want to get a routine together. That's really what the night show is all about. Like, here's your opportunity to show your body the way you want to show your body.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Let's see what you want to present to us. Now, we asked you to do the mandatories. You got through that. Now you have your freestyle moment.
Okay.
So if you go on stage and do this, you better have everything else right. It's best to have everything else.
You got to bring back the best poser award.
Actually, Guy DeCorso, my man, he just had the Rhode Island show. Great show. He gave out the best poser award.
Nice.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and I think we had another one in Maine. They haven't had a show there in about I think it's 30 years. they had one too. Yeah. So and they appreciated that. Was really good. Yeah.
That's good. You got to bring that back so they can regenerate that lost art.
All right. Maybe I'll do a vote and see if people want to do it for the jersey. Let's see if I can get that passed, and we'll get that done. That'll be good. And
Yeah.
maybe you can present it. How about that?
Unfortunately, I'm leaving for Romania the day before.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll get it done.
So,
Guy, being a bodybuilder, what do you think of the classic division?
Me or Vinny?
No, you, Dwayne. What do you think of the classic division? Because obviously that's gaining speed. Bodybuilding, I think it was number one, but
I think it's a great division. I think it's taken over. It's taken the industry by storm. Yeah, I think it's grown, and I think it's still growing. I think it's a good stepping stone from. I've seen guys go from physique to classic to bodybuilding, right?
Yep.
And idea is you want to have at the pinnacle, you have bodybuilders, but you want to have them with that aesthetics, flat stomach, tapered waist, round cap shoulders, like classic, but in a bigger package, right?
Let me ask you this. When you see in men's physique, a lot of guys think, well, I have board shorts on. I don't need to train my legs. And I see sometimes there's guys that have great legs in these board shorts standing next to guys who obviously do not train legs. And I feel that's a detriment, and men's physique competitors should train legs. What is your thought on that?
I think everybody should train legs. I think when you train your legs, you definitely affect your upper body. But if you train your upper body, you do not affect your legs.
Right.
But it is more of an upper body category. Okay. So your upper body, if you have legs and physique, your upper body should be 100% either way. Either way.
Yeah, because I think people forget, they don't know today. Like we grew up in an era that taught you if you squat, everything is going to grow. And I'll talk to guys and they say that's bro science. That makes no sense at all.
But it's true.
I'm like, no, it's true, because when you squat, your back, shoulders, arms become bigger.
Yeah, or just even if people have some kind of adverse reaction to squatting, mentally or whatever, half squat, leg press, something heavy. You're training half your body at one time. You're training the biggest muscle in your body, so of course it's going to take more out of your entire body to train you, as opposed to training your biceps. One of those body parts that are small, but everybody loves to look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think the physique looks better and more complete.
Absolutely.
And the legs are more developed in the board shorts. I'm not opposed to the division. I'm just opposed to the mindset of some competitors that think they don't need to, that they can just get away with doing a little leg extension, leg curl. And they just think that, oh, my legs just need to be cut. And I think that they're missing the big picture on the overall development that they're missing from good hard leg training.
Right. I mean, yeah, I agree on the development part. But again, that category is for mainly upper body.
And I agree. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not disagreeing with it.
But I agree with, there have been many times where, like, if I couldn't train my legs, I don't want to train. I'll wait. If I miss leg day, I'll wait. I don't want to, have the missing leg thing. When I'm back in my day, I couldn't have that. Not a diamond.
Dwayne, putting you on the spot, what was your favorite decade for bodybuilding? When you look at the athletes and whatnot.
I would absolutely have to say the 90s.
Okay.
I would have to say the 90s, late 90s. I mean, and I'd like the Lee Haney, that era that I grew up with Lee Haney, Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman, of course, Flex Wheeler, Kevin, Sean. These guys were you know, they were big and they had the aesthetics as well,
Yep.
you know, and um, Dorian and Rich Gaspari, they had the, you know, the striated glutes and the dry, gritty look. You know, I think Rich was the first one that had the striated glutes, right?
I think so.
Rich came
Yeah.
out with striated glutes. He was shredded. And then Dorian Yates had that brick look,
Yeah.
you know. And I think everybody in the world admired him for his work ethic, just nonstop, balls to the wall, you know, do or die kind of training.
Yep.
You know, and if you look at his gym, it has the wood grain, the dungeon.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes when people watch the video, they'll think it's diamond. You know, so he had that mentality.
I trained there once. It was so cool.
Oh yeah,
In New England,
one
in
of the
England,
one.
you train there?
Yeah, it was
Oh, wow.
probably the most disgusting bathroom I've ever been in my life. It was so hot. Guys were sweating. Like the guy, I remember a guy coming out of the shower. I was going to the bathroom. The floor was dirty. And like, you stand in that after you just got out of the shower? And the guys were just hardcore like that. They didn't care.
They didn't give a damn. They were there for training. Yeah.
Yep. There for training.
Yeah, I've never been there, but one of the highlights for me was when he came to Diamond and trained.
Wow.
Dude was
Okay.
monster. Matter of fact, he trained with I think him and Bo Matlock. They were doing bent over rows and they were going pound for pound. It was brutal.
Nice.
Yeah, but it was a lot of stories like that. Good times.
I remember the
lot of
first
fun.
time John
Yeah.
had him here. Remember for the Suburban?
Who was it?
John had Dorian here.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
they had to condense the show because we had a blizzard and they were
Right.
shutting the parkway down.
Yes.
Yeah, that was like in, I don't know, 91, 92.
I thought it was early 90s. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
yeah.
it a snowstorm in like April or something crazy?
Yeah, we had a blizzard like the beginning of April. I mean,
Right.
it pounded us, and
Yep.
we had to be out of the building by like 1:00, and they condensed everything into a few hours, and we were off on our way home on the parkway because they were shutting it down.
Yeah.
And Dorian guest posed. They squeezed him in, and everybody was like, oh "My," because nobody saw anybody as big as Dorian at that time.
Right.
Right.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Jeez.
That was the era of the beginning of the mass monster era, I think. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think pretty much.
Yeah.
So as things wind down, Dwayne, we mentioned there's a new segment that we're introducing here, 3 random questions.
Oh boy.
Okay. So I'm going to be honest and give you 2 softballs, but I'm going to give you a little curve on the end. So the first thing that comes to mind, okay? Favorite body part to train?
Legs.
Okay. Favorite movie?
Ooh. Favorite movie. I would have to say The Matrix.
Matrix. All right.
First one?
Was that
Number 1?
number one?
Matrix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here's the curveball. The last song you sang out loud to.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're breaking up. I think I lost my internet. The last song I sang out loud.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard me sing?
Not yet.
No, and you won't.
Come on, in your
Good
car
answer.
or something, in the car by yourself?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't even do that to myself now. I wouldn't.
All right,
Nice.
we'll let you off easy. But
Thank you.
So where can people reach you on Instagram?
You can reach me at diamondgym.pro. I'm sorry. Instagram is Diamond Gym Pro. And people
And-
say I'm horrible at it, but yeah, Diamond Gym Pro.
Okay. And what's the date of the jersey?
The jersey is April 19th in Islip, New Jersey at the Apple Hotel. I'm sorry,
Not
August.
August 19th.
August 19th, yeah. And last year, we reintroduced the Beast of the East, which you have a few of, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I just have one.
You have one? I thought you had a
Yeah,
few of them.
No, I just won. I won the overall in the novice Suburban. In
Right,
89.
right.
I got
So we're giving it away again.
I have it right over there.
Trophy back there. It's
That's a Bad trophy.
It's a beautiful trophy. So that goes to the open overall bodybuilder, and then the ladies get crowns and statuettes. A lot of hardware given away. It's a great show, a lot of fun.
Cool.
So is the Suburban Trophy the same one for the last 20, 30 years?
John used to give it to the Suburban in the Jersey, but
and the East Coast.
In the East Coast, that's right. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, so Sean, it was called the Beast of the East.
Yeah.
And the Suburban was the contest name that now is the John Kemper Classic.
Now that changed. It's Battle of the East now. As of this, they just had it a few months ago. It's Battle of the East. They changed it again.
Oh, okay. Oh, Battle of the East.
Yeah.
Because was it Craig Richardson, Vinny? I think he said broke his, and I don't know if he was kidding around, saying he'd love to get a replica or replace.
No,
Robbie
Lopez broke his by
accident.
Yeah,
just tell him to call me. Yeah, I know Robbie.
Of course.
That's my man. Good guy. Yeah.
And Dwayne, what's the address of the gym for people listening?
It's in Maplewood, 732 Irvington Avenue, Maplewood, New Jersey.
Perfect.
Still there, going strong.
Dwayne, it's been a pleasure, and Vinny knows I'm going to come up every couple of months here because I'm training for a show, and hopefully I'll come to the gym, shake your hand, and check out the establishment.
Get it in. That'll be great. It'll be good to see you. Vinny, try to make it through before you leave.
Oh, I will. I'm definitely. Okay. I'll be down there.
And
guys,
next week,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And next week, folks, if you remember about 2 or 3 episodes ago, Vinny was kind of playing a little teaser with the audience here about a future guest. So next week, do you want to announce our big guest for next week, Vinny?
I'll let you do it.
The Tony Pearson coming on the show.
Wow.
So excited.
Yeah. The
nice.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome to have Tony Pearson on. I was shocked when I reached out to him and he said yes. He didn't even hesitate. I was like, awesome.
Awesome.
So pretty cool. Yeah.
Dwayne, you were going to say something and wrap it up. Yes. Dwayne, what were you going to say before we wrap up here?
No, I was going to say thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. Thanks for reaching out to me. It's been a blast. Just do it again.
You're welcome. And I'll be at Diamond soon. And good luck with what you're doing and getting your show off the ground again in August. And everybody can reach you on Instagram. And again, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Sean, good to see you.
Dwayne, it was a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much. And to everybody, thank you so much for listening and tuning in. Have a great week.
All right, take care now. Bye.